30 seconds and counting. T-
Hey, what's good, y'all? Welcome back to another video. It's Anish. I'm joined with Drew, and today we're going to be talking about David Culley's future. And before I start, I'm going to tell y'all to go hit the subscribe button down below. It would mean the world to us. Without further ado, let's get back to the video. So, over the last few days, there's been a lot of hints to whether or not Culley will be the future Texans head coach. Earlier in a press conference, David Culley was talking as if he was going to be the future head coach of the Texans, saying, I'm looking forward to next year and things of that nature. But recently, that thing has kind of changed or feels like it's changing. There's a lot of things for us to think that way. First of all, Culley said in the exit interview that he hadn't scheduled anything with Nick or Cal. So that definitely tells you something, because as a team that went 4-13, there's definitely a lot of things to talk about, and for him to not have a meeting with them definitely means that they're planning something, or they're still evaluating his future that Culley doesn't know about. And also, there's a deleted tweet by Aaron Reese and other Texans media that Casario was also supposed to have an exit interview with the media, but they reported that they postponed it until further notice, until they finally come to a conclusion about the future about David Culley. And then recently came out today that for the Senior Bowl, they announced that the Jets and the Lions staff will coach the game for it. And how it works is that the teams with the worst record get to coach it. So it makes sense that the Lions is so a coach from the AFC and the NFC. But technically, it should have been the Jags. But since they fired Urban Meyer, they're uneligible for it. So we're next in line. But I feel like since we're undecided about David Culley, or maybe we've already made a decision on Culley, um, that he didn't coach in the Senior Bowl. So Drew, what do you think of all this? Do you think it's gonna happen sooner rather than later, or what do you think is gonna happen?
Yeah, I really do think it's going to happen at some point in time. I'm going to read a little bit of a couple of tweets I saw earlier today. First one, you talked about the Aaron Reese one. The press conference has been removed. It's going to be postponed. And then, of course, the Senior Bowl, I talked a little bit about earlier today. Just, me and a couple of guys were like, well, the Texans were first in line. However, you cannot coach in the Senior Bowl unless you have an active coaching staff, an active head coach, more importantly, because the Lions don't have an offensive coordinator. They just fired Anthony Lynn a couple of days ago. So even if the Texans only fired Tim Kelly, they would still be all good to go for the Senior Bowl. However, the Texans seem to have either turned it down or have no longer qualified to coach the Senior Bowl. And if they no longer qualified, that would mean that they have fired David Culley. And I feel like that's makes a lot of sense, because the kind of the feeling around the entire organization and the media and the league is that David Culley will be let go soon. I believe John McClain earlier on Sports Radio 610, it's kind of like, yeah, the feeling is that he's going to be let go in the coming days. And that's kind of why it's taking a little bit of time, because when the organization goes 4-12, 4-13, you have to look at a lot of things. Yes, it is only David Culley's first year, but David Culley was more of a bridge head coach anyways. So now you're at a time where it looks like the Deshaun Watson saga is wrapping up. His cases may supposedly are getting settled, 18 out of the 22, meaning that he's almost ready to be traded. You're going to have a bunch of picks soon. And now the team already has a couple of building pieces heading into free agency. More guys are going to be signed, and you're going to have the third overall pick in the draft. So wouldn't you want to get the guy right now who's going to lead the team to the Super Bowl? Because we know David Culley's not going to be the guy to lead the team to the Super Bowl. As unfortunate as it is, he's not going to be the guy. So right now, the Texans are really at an opportunity to go get the guy they want. And I think that in our last video, we talked about Brian Flores. Brian Flores is fired from the Dolphins. The Texans now have the opportunity to, maybe on the low, talk to him, see what he wants to do. He's getting interviewed by the Bears soon. The Texans have a chance to look into him. And if they can get Brian Flores, or even the Patriots linebacker coach in Gerard Mayo, or offensive coordinator Josh McDaniels, and they say that they're interested, and probably will go ahead and, fire David Culley and pursue those guys. But they just got to make sure. And I believe Jeff Howe today, who is actually a Boston guy, who knows Nick Casario very, very well, tweeted, "The Texans are continuing to evaluate the performance of David Culley and the coaching staff. They may not finalize their decision until Thursday or Friday." So really, I just think that wraps everything up, telling us that yeah, he's pretty much gone. Jeff Howe is supposedly very close to Nick Casario, and that tells you about all you need. So my expectation is that David Culley will be let go soon, and the Texans will look into three candidates in Brian Flores, Gerard Mayo, and Josh McDaniels, all three Patriot guys.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like a lot of people in the fan base really want Brian Flores. I mean, seeing how he finished 10-6 last season and 9-8 this season. So a lot of people are saying like he got unfairly fired, and then like he had a power struggle with the GM Greer, and had a lot of conflict with Tua. So a lot of people are saying, "Oh, I don't know if I want someone who's controlling like that or whatnot, or kind of treats their quarterback like that." So that's the opinion on that, but a lot of people, so there's mixed opinion on Flores whether or not we should hire him as a head coach, and we'll probably say that for another video. But as far as David Culley goes, like a lot of people, some people, John McClain saying like it's unfair for us to fire David Culley as one season in, and I see why he might think that way because like Culley kind of stepped into a situation that's like kind of almost a crashing plane almost. Like it was basically about to burn and we needed someone to like just sit in the pilot seat almost and kind of just take the fall. And you kind of saw that in our like final head coaching candidates, like with Leslie Frazier and David Culley being the last two willing to take the job. And David Culley, like, don't get me wrong, he's a nice guy. He really appreciates the job of being a head coach, and he really came into a really tough situation with everything. But as far as coaching mistakes go, like I know everyone makes mistakes, but his are like kind of had too head scratching to think that hard to believe that he will still be here next season. But Drew, do you have any opinion on like that? Like the for the people who say it's like unfair to fire Cully after one season?
Um, I don't really have much to say to them because I disagree, but I understand. You know, the Texans are going to get a lot of hate if they do this. David Coley, supposedly didn't have much to work with. I understand that, but you have to understand Nick Casario didn't have much to work with. There weren't coaches that were just willing to come here. The Matt Eberfluses, the Eric Bieniemys, the guys who were the hot coaches on the market weren't even going to come here in the first place. It was pretty much inevitable that the Texans in the future, if it was last year, this year, they're going to end up getting a Patriots guy as the head coach. So that's possibly what's going to happen soon. But David Coley genuinely made mistakes, like you said. He had terrible game management. He even had Nick Casario and Romeo Crennel on the headset, and he came out and said that he didn't really listen to him all the time. He quoted a time during the Patriots game where he was supposed to call timeouts. Nick Casario told me, if you call timeouts, you can help us get the ball. If you don't call timeouts, sorry, let me rephrase that. If you let them score, we'll get the ball back. David Coley chose to use his timeouts. So right there it shows you, his gut feeling forced a wrong decision that even our general manager, the guy who was in charge, knew was the wrong decision. So that right there should tell you that he's not suitable for this job. So you got to understand that the Texans need to find the right guy now because mistakes like that cannot happen next season. The team needs to grow. The team needs to improve and win. The team needs to be more disciplined, and they need to make the right decisions right now.
Yeah, and there's been some rumors that apparently Cal McNair, like was like keeping Cully was his decision, and Casario wanted to finally hire his own head coach. I don't know if those rumors are true, but that's what's been floating around. But even then, like, uh, yeah, just this whole situation with Cully. I think that's why it's taking so long because especially with 1 year, people might say like future head coach prospects like, oh, they only have a 1 year tolerance for coaches or things like that, and a lot of people are saying, oh, we went 4-12 or 4-12 last season, same amount of wins with Watson, versus this season, but obviously it's a whole new season, different opponents, a whole new roster, so you can't really compare the two. And Cully even stands by Tim Kelly, who we all know has made really terrible coaching decisions. And so, I mean, his endorsement really shows that he doesn't see any problem with Tim Kelly. at all, which there are several problems with Tim Kelly, and we made a video on that. But yeah, I think as far as David Culley, he definitely needs to go. I really wish him the best of luck. Maybe we don't fire him, but we kind of give him a demotion, maybe like a culture coach, because a lot of people a lot of players say that he's good in the locker room, and a lot of guys love playing for him. And I mean, that's the bare minimum for a head coach, in my opinion. Like guys playing for the coach. I mean that's like the bare minimum of a head coach. But maybe make him like some assistant head coach or culture coach, something like that. And like I also forgot to mention, like Brandon Cook's been talking about like Pep Hamilton versus Cully. He said like it's a business, and he said like what wish him not wish him the best, but like he said it's a business. I forget what the rest of the quote is, but as far as Pep Hamilton, he's like he's a great guy, great coach. So you can see it's apparent in how the players are responding to these questions, like who they want to keep as their coach. But yeah, do you have anything to add on to that?
Yeah, just expect the news to come soon, probably on Thursday or Friday. Tomorrow will be a little bit of a rest day, just one final day for Nick Casario and everyone else is in charge to make the decision.
Yeah, and that's pretty much it for the video. Let us know your thoughts on this news, and as always, be sure to like, subscribe, and turn on post notifications. Thank y'all for watching. Peace.